Okay, I want to start this week with a confession. If you've been listening to the show for the last several weeks, I have handed you a lot of experiments. The doorway reset, 3 things to stop doing at night, the 10 minutes of daylight, permission to enjoy fun, eating before coffee, a caffeine curfew, stepping outside instead of reaching for that second cup of coffee. And honestly, if you're sitting there thinking, I have not done any of those consistently, and now I feel like I'm failing or I feel a little bit behind, this episode is for you. Because here's the thing. I never meant for any of this to feel like a checklist. What I want to do today is give you permission to stop trying to do everything all at once. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to Chronic Illness Moms. If you're more than just a tired mom, I'm talking trying to make it through the day without crashing by noon while raising neurodivergent kids, you're not alone. I'm Ashley, a wife, mom, and certified health coach. I have lived with autoimmune disease and flare-ups that made everyday life feel harder than it should. After years of pushing through and burning out, I learned how much stress, poor sleep, and nervous system overload were driving my symptoms. Everything changed when I started building small, realistic habits that actually supported my body instead of fighting it. In this podcast, you'll learn simple habits that help you to feel better. So pop in your earbuds and take a break from the chaos. It's you time.
I can think back to times whenever I have caught myself reading my own to-do list of how to feel better, how to reset my nervous system, all these things, and feeling kind of tense about it. Did I do the breathing thing today? Have I been outside? Did I eat before I had my coffee this morning? Should I be tracking this somewhere? How do I keep up with all of this? And I really had to sit in the irony of it because I've taken these practices designed to help my nervous system. And then honestly, sometimes I've turned them into another way to feel behind. Now, practices that are supposed to be giving you permission to slow down have also become another thing to try to strive to be perfect at and get everything right. If you have felt like that at any point during this time, I get it. And I want to spend a few minutes giving you something different than another experiment to try. Today's episode is going to be short. There are no new things to try, no new framework. This is not a tactical win that is going to help you to feel better. It's not something that I'm building up to. Today's just going to be a pause. And if you've been with me through any of the recent episodes, then this is the one that I really hope gives you permission. Because here's the thing I want to put on the table for you guys. Your nervous system does not change because you stack more healthy practices on top of it. Your body does not recover because you've added 6 new habits in the last 6 weeks. The practices that actually do something to move the needle on helping you to feel better, helping you to heal, helping you to feel like yourself again, those are the things that are just becoming a part of you. They're just a part of what you do. The ones that you don't have to stop to remember or stress about, did I do it or did I not? Because they've just become how you live without thinking about it. And honestly, most of that wellness world that we kind of dig into when we're trying to feel better, they can get this wrong. It hands you this endless menu of things to add, things to do. For a mom who is already feeling behind, who is taking care of your kids, that menu or that list of things you should be doing, it can add a lot of stress. What you probably need is the opposite of that. You need to look back at the experiments from this month, all those things I listed above, the doorway method, the 3 things to stop, adding in daylight. How can you add joy to the everyday moments of life? All those coffee shifts we talked about. And notice of any of those that you tried, which one actually stuck? The one that you didn't have to try really hard at, that you didn't have to set a reminder, the one that just made sense for your schedule, the one that gave you the most impact in feeling better, that made you want to keep going back to it again and again. The one that your brain reaches for now without you having to try to remember to do it, without having the list that you feel like you have to check off. That one is yours to keep. The rest, you can come back to them whenever you're ready, or whenever you feel like, hey, I want to try this out again. I feel like I'm really good on this one habit and now I want to move on to the next one. Or you know what? If you say that wasn't for me, maybe you never go back to them. Both of those things are completely fine. Self-care that lasts, that becomes a part of your everyday life, isn't the kind that you have to remember and force yourself to do. It is the kind that has already started just becoming part of your everyday routine and schedule. Now, I will say, obviously, we can train our body, our brain, our minds for all these new habits, and that's great and wonderful, but there's a lot to be said about slowing down and picking one thing. Pick your one thing. So look back at the last few weeks. All the things I gave you, they are just tools. They are just resources. They are not something for you to say, oh my goodness, I have to start doing every single one of these now. Look at your everyday life and audit yourself and think, okay, what is it that I'm struggling with the most? And which of these that we went through would be the most impactful for me right now? What is the one thing that I want to focus on? which of these experiments and these tests that we're doing is actually working for you. Maybe it is taking that breath when you walk in, because that is just starting to happen on its own without you trying. Maybe it's eating something before your coffee because you realized, I feel so much more stable whenever I do that. Maybe it is 10 minutes outside in the morning and in the evening because you realized how much more energy you have during the day and how much better you're sleeping at night. Maybe it is that night when you don't review your failures and you actually notice the difference in your morning the next morning. Whatever it is, that is the one thing that you hold on to and you focus on instead of really spiraling with the stress of, oh my goodness, I'm failing because I didn't do all of these things. She shared all of these things, but I couldn't keep up. It is not surprising at all that you could not keep up. It is too much to try to add at one time. That's why we always talk about starting small, starting simple, focusing on one habit until it becomes just your normal everyday routine that you do, and then we move forward from there. So I want to know, what is it for you? Put like a little small mental check next to it and then drop the rest for now. It's not quitting. It's not you failing. It is you choosing to prioritize what is the easiest for you to stick with and what matters the most for you. I want you guys to come and tell us in the Facebook group which of these habits stuck for you. Just one. I find that naming it out loud, even just typing it in the comments, it can help to really take ownership and motivate and encourage you to stick with it. And then honestly, the rest of us just need to hear which one worked for you, which one didn't. That is how we continue to grow and make progress, is really connecting to a community where we can get support, where we can also share our failures and also our success, and just continue to be encouraged and know that it is perfectly okay that you couldn't incorporate all 6 of these habits. Well, really, there are more than 6, but all of these habits that we've covered over the last several episodes. And that's okay. It's perfectly fine. Which one worked best for you? I want to know. And also I want to tell you, the point was never a list of things that you have to do or that you have to try. The point was that I want you to hear these things are available for you. How can we do them really in a real life way as a busy mom who also has chronic symptoms she's dealing with? She doesn't always feel her best. She's also caregiving for her kids. How can we begin to look at these healthy habits that a lot of times whenever someone else talks about them, it feels unattainable? So my goal is to help you to figure out ways to start incorporating healthy habits into your life that feels truly attainable for the actual life that you live. But it is never to put pressure on you to try to change everything at once, because that is just not feasible. It's not possible. The best way is one small habit at a time. All right, friends, that is all for this episode. I do want to hear from you. Which of the habits actually stuck for you? Which have you seen the biggest impact on? Come over to our free Facebook group and share with us there. I will have the link down in the show notes below. That is all for this episode. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back next time.
Hey friend, I hope you found today's episode helpful. If you did, would you take a minute to share it with another mom who's struggling with chronic symptoms? And leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It means the world to me to know this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to go tackle those snack requests, and remember that a short walk, even if the kids turn it into a race, still counts as self-care. Keep chasing those little wins. Even when it feels messy, you're making progress. The information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine. I'm not a doctor, and this podcast is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. You're the expert on your body. Listen to it and reach out to a trusted provider for support.